Whenever you're ready. I want to talk to y'all tonight about a subject. Not a lot of people like to talk about death and dying and death with dignity, but I think that it's a subject that really needs to be discussed with people, more or less to understand the impact of making your wishes known to your family members or whatever, whether it's for yourself, for your parents, for your children, whoever it's for. It's important that they know what you want done. If you get into a situation where you have like a terminal illness or an irreversible illness or situation, if you become comatose or in a coma or in a state that you can't make decisions for yourself, you need to let somebody know what kind of treatments you desire, what you don't desire. There's a lot of people that find themselves in a situation where they can't make those decisions and there's nobody around to make those decisions for them, so you have no choice as a medical provider. You have no choice but to do everything that you can. So if that person has no quality of life, they have no cognitive ability or whatever, they're not able to make these decisions, then the hospital or the doctor or whoever, caregiver, has no choice but to do whatever they can to keep this person alive. And I personally feel like and I've talked to Bart about it, and I've talked to my kids about it, that if I'm ever in an accident or if I get sick and I can't make decisions for myself, I don't want feeding tubes, and I don't want to be left on a ventilator. I don't want a lot of things done to me that's going to prolong my life, that if I have no quality of life left. And I ran into this situation with my daddy when he was sick. The doctor came to me and said, this is it's time to put something on paper. His lungs were bad, his heart was bad. And I had talked to him. I knew what he wanted and didn't want, and, but I may not have been there. We didn't have anything on paper, so if something had happened and he was in the hospital and I wasn't there, Mama knew, but it wasn't written down. And that would have been a situation that would have been hard for her to say, no, don't do anything, when it was a sudden incident. But there are different papers that you can use, and one of those papers is an advance directive. And there's two different kinds of advance directives. A living will is something that you write out yourself, and that lets your own wishes be known. And you can say, I do want this or I don't want that. If it comes down to it, don't put me on a respirator, don't do CPR. Now, I found some information from that at www.alllaw.com, and the writer for that was Rebecca Berlin. Another form of an advance directive is for you to get a durable power of attorney. I am my mother's durable power of attorney. If in the event that she gets sick and can't make her own decisions, then legally I'm able to do that. This type form has to be filled out, specifically with names and who can make these decisions, and it has to be notarized and it has to be recorded. The best thing to do with a situation like that is to give that to your doctor, have a copy at the hospital where you normally go, that type thing. And so we've taken care of that. In my case, there's 6 of us kids. The chance of having all 6 of us together in a split moment decision-making situation is slim. I mean, we all live around here, but it would be a hard situation to gather everybody up and say, hey, this is what we need to do. And they've trusted me to be the one to make those decisions. Of course, I would consult with them, but I can do that legally in a case of an injury or sickness that needed that decision to be made. I found information about a durable power of attorney also. That was at en.m.wikipedia.org, and it has a lot of information on there. Also, you can have a power of attorney that's specifically for healthcare purposes. The durable power of attorney gives you legal rights to make legal decisions and medical decisions, but there's also a medical specific for healthcare power of attorney. You can also have a form called a DNR, which means to do not resuscitate, and that's just simply if a person is in a situation at home or in a nursing home or in the hospital and they have cardiac arrest or respiratory arrest, that just says don't do anything to try to restart the heart or restart the breathing. In other words, don't do CPR. And that the doctor usually will write that on the chart. Family usually, or the patient, lets him know that's the situation that they desire. So these are a lot of different forms. I know I've talked about this specific one, this last one, talking about death and death with dignity. And that's basically, you know, if a person has no quality of life, like I talked to you about before, you know, just allowing them to die in a natural process. Don't do anything heroic. You know, there's lots of different levels that you can treat people. Just because you have a DNR order or whatever doesn't mean that you're not going to do anything for this person. You're going to keep them comfortable, and however aggressive they want to be treated, or the family wants them to be treated medically without doing CPR or intubating and putting them on a ventilator, you know, that can still be done. We're not going to just put them in a bed and let them die. I mean, you know, you can treat them actually and keep them comfortable. But I found a lot of information on that on the www.mayoclinic.org. So that was another website that I found some information. But I really just wanted to go over some of these things with y'all and let you know, just make you aware that these decisions are things that you can talk to your family with. And if you have specific desires that you do or don't want done, that it's something that you should probably talk to them about and make them aware of it, so that when it does come time to it, or if it comes down to that, they can do what they know that you want them to do, and it makes it easier for them to make decisions for you. Thank y'all very much.